This one truth will change how you see your life forever, because one choice creates your entire path. If you're looking for motivation, wisdom, and life lessons, take the path of purpose.
How do I make difficult decisions? How do I make difficult decisions? That is a question we all face not once, but many times throughout our lives. Because life will not always present us with easy choices. There will be crossroads, dilemmas, and moments of deep uncertainty. Moments when the stakes are high, the answers are unclear, and the consequences are real. In those moments, how do we choose well? How do we stay true to ourselves? How do we make a decision and move forward with courage, clarity, and integrity? History is full of difficult decisions. Think of Abraham Lincoln deciding to go to war to preserve the Union. Think of Rosa Parks deciding not to give up her seat, knowing it could cost her freedom. Think of the leaders who chose resistance over surrender, truth over comfort, people over power. They did not choose easily. They chose with principle. They chose despite fear. And they remind us that difficulty is not a reason to avoid choosing jits, a reason to choose with even more care. Science tells us that difficult decisions activate different parts of our brain. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for reason and future planning, works overtime, but so does the limbic system, the emotional center. Because hard decisions are not just about facts, they're about feelings, about values, about uncertainty. That's what makes them hard. Researchers in decision science have found that when faced with complex choices, we often rely on something called bounded rationality. That means we make the best decision we can, given our limits of knowledge, time, emotion. We simplify, we prioritize, we use heuristics. This doesn't mean we're irrational. It means we're human. So when I face a difficult decision, the first thing I must do is pause. Not panic, not rush. Pause. Because clarity does not come from chaos. It comes from stillness, from stepping back, taking a breath, and asking, what am I really deciding? What are the real stakes? What do I need to know? The second thing I must do is gather information, but with intention. In an age of endless data, more information doesn't always mean more clarity. It can lead to analysis paralysis. So I must ask, what facts actually matter here? What assumptions am I making? What voices do I trust to guide me? I must also be aware of my biases, confirmation bias, fear of loss, status quo bias. These mental shortcuts can distort how I weigh my options. They can make the familiar feel safer than the right. They can make the hard road look impossible. But awareness creates power. When I know my blind spots, I can compensate for them. The third step is to consult my values. Because when facts are not enough, values point the way. What do I believe in? What matters most? What kind of person do I want to be on the other side of this decision? If the decision affects others, I must ask, who will be impacted? What does fairness look like? What would compassion call for? What would justice require? This is where ethical frameworks help. Utilitarianism asks, what will do the most good for the most people? Deontology asks, what is my duty, regardless of outcome? Virtue ethics asks, what action reflects the kind of character I want to embody? These aren't just theories, they are tools, and when used together, they provide a deeper lens for decision-making. The fourth step is to explore the options, not just what's obvious, but what's possible. Difficult decisions often seem like either or, but what if there's a third path? A creativa compromise. a phased approach, a courageous conversation that changes the equation. Brainstorming with an open mind expands the field of choice. It invites innovation, and sometimes the best option is one you haven't thought of yet. The fifth step is to imagine the consequences. Visualize the future under each path. How will I feel in a month, in a year? What regrets might I have? What pride might I feel? What doors will this open or close? This kind of mental time travel is powerful. Neuroscientists call it episodic future thinking. It helps us make more grounded, long-term decisions. It connects emotion with foresight. The sixth step is to listen to intuition. Yes, intuition. Because difficult decisions are not just made with logic. They are felt. Your body knows. Your heart knows. When something feels wrong, it often is. When something feels right, despite fear, it often points to growth. Intuition is not guessing. It is the wisdom of your experience, stored deep within. It does not scream, it whispers. And to hear it, you must get quiet. The seventh step is to speak with others. Not to outsource your decision, but to gain perspective. Talk to people who have faced similar choices, people who will be honest with you, people who want your growth more than your approval. Wise counsel is not just advice, it's insight. Sometimes another person's question unlocks your answer. The eighth step is to make the decision. Not delay, not overthink, but decide. Difficult decisions will never feel 100% certain. That's okay. Aim for clarity, not perfection. Move forward, not because you're fearless, but because you're willing. And when you choose fully. Commit. Don't keep one foot in every door. Give the decision your full energy. Trust yourself. You made the best choice you could, with the knowledge you had, and the heart you brought. The ninth step is to reflect. After the decision, take time to learn. What did this teach me about myself? About others? About the world? Whether the outcome is success or failure, reflection turns experience into wisdom. The 10th and final step is to forgive yourself. No decision is without risk. Sometimes the outcome will hurt. Sometimes it won't go as planned. That doesn't mean you chose wrong. It means you chose to try. Self-compassion is essential. You are not defined by one decision. You are shaped by how you respond to all of them. So how do I make difficult decisions? I slow down. I seek clarity. I consult facts and feelings. I check my values. I explore options. I imagine the future. I listen within. I seek wise counsel. I decide with courage. I reflect with honesty. And I forgive with grace. Because life is not made in the easy moments. It is made in the hard ones. And the ability to choose well, even when it's hard, that is what defines maturity. That is what shapes character. That is what builds a meaningful life. So don't fear difficult decisions. Embrace them. They are the proof that your life is real, that your choices matter, that you are alive and becoming. And remember, the most difficult decisions often lead to the most beautiful outcomes. Not because they're easy, but because they're true. Choose well. Choose bravely. Choose with heart. That is the path. That is the way. That is your strength.